the whole world needs to know that you exist. Now that they know you exist, you need to offer up something to get them to want to basically talk to you, right? Welcome to the Charcuterie Launch Lab Podcast, where passion meets profit. If you've ever dreamed of turning your love for charcuterie, or food of any kind, into a thriving online business, well then you're in the right place. We're Andrea and Patti, the GrazingBiz sisters. With over 60 years combined experience as a chef and digital marketer, we have walked in your shoes starting our own online businesses. We'll share all of our tips, advice, struggles, and best strategies to help you launch and grow your own online foodie business with ease. The Charcuterie Launch Lab is a space for all food creators and entrepreneurs just like you. Let's dive in and get your yummy business launched online, one board at a time. Hey, welcome back to the Charcuterie Launch Lab. You're here with the GrazingBiz sisters. I'm Patti.
And I'm Andrea.
Okay, good. We got it. We're working on our intro, people, because we're still new at this stuff.
I'm still practicing.
I know. Anyway, so we're really glad to be back. This is not going to be a real long one. We're going to just talk a little bit about how to get repeat business. And there's a couple of different ways that, once you sell your boards, we just don't want to lose those people because they're our best. This is notorious for real estate. You got to stay in front of these people because they'll probably work with you again. So we're going to talk a little bit about how you can, forge relationships and continue to get people coming back. So I think, Andrea, you had a tip that I think was something about partnering with others in the neighborhood. And I know you've done this because you're out you're out at events all the time, food events.
I'm out shaking hands and kissing
babies.
Various different
I kiss crybabies. I
don't say that. There might be some real estate agents out there listening.
I know.
No, but I live in Northern Arizona. We have a lot of wineries up here. Everybody's going to have maybe local crafters. You may even be lucky enough to have local cheesemakers. I don't have them. But if I was back east, like in Vermont or one of those places back there, New York, I know is notorious. So any of the places where there's dairy, or Wisconsin, for the love of God. So you can, in my case, I reach out to wineries to coordinate wine tasting events and get the charcuterie boards put into place there. And then I give, of course, my card is sitting there. And I do that for free because that is how you get in front of the people who are foodies and interested in this kind of stuff. And then eventually those people, they work somewhere. So they might be in a corporate office and go, hey, I know I went and had this at some winery or whatever. So also with that, there's another good, you may go to craft fairs or something and you meet somebody who makes honey. Those people are everywhere. They're always at the craft fairs. So you hook up with them and they have customers that, and then you put the honey on there and then somehow or another you create a little card that says, partnering today with Raw Honey Northern Arizona, whatever the name of the company is. So there's all those different types of things. And then working even with just a local, you're going to want to, at some point, depending on how your business is evolving, going out and shaking hands and kissing babies, as I say, to the local event planners and the wedding venues and all that jazz.
Yeah. I mean, to me, that makes a ton of sense. I was also thinking, so I was on Facebook recently, and there, believe it or not, there's this guy who's a cheesemonger. Is it cheesemonger? Is that what you call it?
You're right.
And he is like in charge of the cheese at a Fry's, which is Kroger here in Scottsdale. And he got on Facebook in one of the local Facebook groups and said, I'm in a contest for the most cheese sold, blah, 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 whatever. It was for him to go take a cruise or something through Kroger, I guess it was.
Right.
And he had to sell a certain amount of a particular type of cheese. And I thought, and so anyway, somehow we started connecting through Messenger. And I'm not exactly sure what happened because I was kind of interested in it. And I said, and I go, I'd love to help you out because you're in my neck of the woods. Where are you at exactly? Because he didn't say which store and I missed that. But anyway, long story short, I just realized you can connect with the people that are selling cheese in your world because they are probably, talking to a lot of customers coming in, like say, I need to make a
Oh
board. I
yeah.
don't know what I'm doing. I need a blah, blah, blah. And now you've got your card and he can just go, hey, I know somebody who
Hmm.
does this. And same thing with wine stores, right? Your local wine,
Right.
especially if you're in an
Right.
area where a lot of small, liquor stores are or whatever. I love the
Hmm.
honey and the jam thing. They sell a lot of honey and stuff on the side of the road around here.
Yeah, exactly.
The
The jam thing.
breads.
So I have a lady that I work with who she's just a little old lady. She makes jams and she goes to craft fairs and and everybody knows her.
Right,
Everybody knows her.
right.
And that's just from doing it for so long. And so I put her jams on some of my things and her name is Deb and she goes by Deb's Jams. So,
She's getting ads by putting your jams because are you
right.
putting her branding on your board somehow too, or just a
Yeah, a lot of times if I do have her stuff, depending on what it is,
okay.
I'll have, today the jam is coming from. Well, first of all, she puts all of her stuff in like a little, if she gives me something, it's got a little jar with her label on it,
Oh
which is
yeah.
okay with me.
Yeah.
That's fine.
What the heck? Why
So, and
not?
the same thing with the honey guy, same thing. So it just depends on what again, if you're lucky enough to have, I would love to have cheesemakers near us, but I live in northern Arizona, so that ain't gonna happen.
Unless you made your
But
own goat cheese or something,
yeah, and I have thought about it. It was
Yeah.
something that was on my bucket list to learn how to do because I could just buy fresh
Right.
goat cheese and try. It's really not that hard. But there are a lot of people that are doing, that kind of stuff.
And you know
So
what?
that is one way to, get out there. It's an easy way and it's a fun way because you make friends and you collab and, those things.
I feel like connecting with other people is the easiest, fastest way to do things. Because I'm a CRM, I own an agency for CRM, which is contact relationship management software, and I talk to a lot of website designers that focus on small businesses and stuff like that, and they talk about building or creating or training or providing services for a CRM for the follow-up side of this. And it's like stay in your lane because you
Yeah.
can just refer the business to somebody. You're going to get better service doing that on top of the fact that you're going to get a lot more done because you're not trying to go off on some tangent, trying to do other things. But better than anything, you're making partner, you're creating friendships and partnerships and
Mhm.
referral business. So that's how you're getting continued money and income and more clients because these people are your go-to referral people. And of course, you're going to turn around and give them business when you can as well. There's this
Mhm.
definitely a
Mhm.
reciprocal thing going on. So I can't see that being a bad thing for any business, but especially this,
I've
especially if
never
you're,
seen it be a bad thing.
yeah.
Unless you get somebody, which I've never had happen, but I could see it could happen, unless you get a crafter or somebody who doesn't deliver,
Oh,
but
that would hurt. Yeah. You want to get
that
your,
would hurt.
yeah.
But I've never had that happen, and I've been doing this for a really long time, so I could see that just being, and that person
Right.
wouldn't be in business very, very long if they did that kind of stuff to you, unless
Right.
they had a really good reason. But
Right. But I
you
think
know,
that's a good way to get your foot in the door. So even if
mhm.
you're brand new to this and want take a free little charcuterie board into
Yeah, it doesn't
them.
have to be huge and it doesn't
No.
have to cost you that much. It's just just take a little board over to a wine tasting and those
Right.
guys are going to take it because they're going to get it for free and they're going to want to be able to offer their guests something
Right.
else and on top of the wine. So it's a good thing all around. And again,
Right.
you don't have to spend all that much, even if you just threw a bunch of, what do you call it? Little cut up pieces of cheese and a little bit of salami. It doesn't have to be anything crazy, and then do a
Yeah.
few decorations or a few flowers on there and call it good.
Gosh,
You don't
if
have to
you
get
really,
crazy.
yeah, if you did that and really personalized that, took a minute to just put a personalized card on there to
Mhm.
say, I'm your neighbor. I'd love to do business. Here's a free blah, blah, blah. Don't forget about me kind of thing. I mean, it's similar to what real estate agents do, where they will take, boxes of donuts or pizzas down to the
Right.
schools down to the fire departments or, stuff like that, because that now your face is in front of them and they remember you when they need somebody, when somebody needs your help. So I think that's great. Another way, which is kind of the total opposite end of this, is now that you're getting clients coming in, you've got people coming in, you do have to be tracking all these people. So I'm going to get back to the contact relationship management software, which is my background, and that is tracking every lead, every person, every referral, anyone who ever bought anything from you, anybody that your world, everybody. You track them, you try to get their email, get their address, their email address, their phone number if you can, and make sure that they're aware that you are doing what you do, right? It's the secret agent thing in the real estate business. You don't want to remain a secret person. You want everybody to know what it is you do. So that, of course, comes back to our last podcast where we were talking about getting on social. The whole world needs to know that you exist. Now that they know you exist, you need to offer up something to get them to want to basically talk to you, right? So sometimes it's going to take giving away something for free. But there's a lot of ideas there, and we certainly can talk about it. It's called a lead magnet, which is going to help you bring people into your world. And then once you get them into your world and they buy from you, you're going to keep them in your list so that they will continue to hear from you. And this can all be done digitally online, which is using a contact relationship management, aka CRM. So when you hear that term, CRM, that's what it means. And it's a digital software that will help you to stay in front of your prospects, past clients, future clients, whatever, your referral business. So when you're going to have a special, you can blast out an email to everybody all at one time. You can text something out. My nail shop does a great job with this. They every time they see that I haven't been in there in a while, or they know they're slow, they text us out coupons so we can come in for 10 or 15% off.
Right. I was just going to ask you about that. So
yeah.
the one of the best types of lead magnets, when we say lead magnets,
the irresistible offer,
the coupon of some sort.
Right.
And the coupon or the welcome back code or whatever it is however you're going to define it. But those are all what would be considered lead magnets, right?
Right.
I mean,
anything that is the irresistible offer that gets people to fork over their contact information, right? That's it. So here's the thing. Social media is one thing and you can get people off of there, but if something happens, and it happens a lot to people, that all of a sudden they've lost their account, they've been kicked off because Meta or whatever happens forces you off of there. You at least want to be sure that you're doing everything you can to grasp and get that email address. So this offer for discounts, so your website could offer a discount just to get people to sign up to get it. So we will talk more about this, because this is where I get all crazy, because this is
she gets way nutty, peeps.
I just love this stuff. I mean, I'm telling you,
I get nutty with food. She gets nutty with the marketing.
Because
lead magnets.
It's one thing. Yeah, lead magnets are the way to go, because if you have something you can offer. I was just talking to a client recently that, or just this morning, it wasn't actually in the food industry, but they were in the indoor sports facility industry, and they were trying to figure out
or whatever.
Yeah, exactly. It was similar to that, but they did all kinds of different sports. And I just said, hey, you put something on, and this is crazy. You just put a QR code on the back of a toilet room door, right? And it's get your free coffee at the snack bar, right? Because you're going to get people just walking in, watching other people play. You can't really capture their information off of that because they're just walking in to watch other people play. But you want to have some way to capture their information. And that's how you're doing it, by offering up something special. But anyway, so bottom line is, what we want to do is make sure that you have a way to capture and then stay in front of them over and over again. And we're going to show you how to do this through a contact relationship management software. So we'll have a lot more discussions about that in the podcast and in the group, in the Facebook group. So make sure that you join our Facebook group. And I want to hit home again that we have the free live webinar this week is going to be on January 11th. If you're watching this in the future, this is 2025, but we're always going to have something. So in the show notes, make sure that you check out our live webinar that's going to take you through the steps. It's free. to come in and learn the steps to get your business started. So it is, and it'll be in the show notes here, but it is at grazingbiz.com/bootcamp. And so you can check us out there. And also we have some other free resources, calculators, a AI prompt if you want to build your own board specific to certain events and number of head counts. It's a really cool thing if you're into AI. And if you're not, you should be, because you're going to need it. In your business, it's going to make your life so much easier. Andrea and I, we're not young people. We've both latched onto this past year, and it's going to even become more prevalent. So if you haven't started that, don't worry. We're going to show you. And if actually you want to give it a try, you want to check the show note here. We'll have the link for you to get in to get our prompt. I actually did a recording to show you how to go to ChatGPT for free, sign up, get an account, and then use the prompt to create your board. So make sure you check that out. And if you join our Facebook group at Start Your Grazing Business, you're welcome to come on in, and we'd love to have you there.
Start your charcuterie business.
Yeah, sorry, I keep doing that. I have too many names.
Start your charcuterie business.
I gotta put a big old thing, a sticker on my wall. Page. Probably I got too many business pages and too many groups. That's the last tip I'm going to give you for recurring business. Okay, you guys, listen. Everybody who's listening to this, and I'm listening, that's me, I'm talking to you. You want to go and start a Facebook group, okay? And it doesn't necessarily need to be about just you and your business. But one of the best things you can do is start something local that is going to provide help and services or any tips and advice about anything in your area. And we'll talk more about how you can, really leverage that. But go set up a free group, because as long as you have that group, you have free advertising to that group, right? So you come to our group. It's not that we're going to advertise to you all the time, but are we going to advertise occasionally? Yeah, we got stuff we want you to know about to help you with your business. So if you can set up a group similar to what we've done, and it doesn't need to be food related, but it could. In fact, there's a group that's out on the west side of town it's just about restaurants and food. And so people get on there and they give their feedback on different restaurants in that area, which I think is amazing. I joined the group.
We have that up here too, Prescott Foodies.
Oh, yeah. I love it.
That's the name of the group, and people tell you their experience, whether
But they're also going to go in. They're also going to go in and say, "I'm looking for," I'm in search of ISO. If you ever see ISO,
and the local restaurants are allowed to get in there and do their thing. Hey, we got 10% off today for any Prescott Foodies, whatever. So that is a lead magnet.
That is a lead magnet. Get your butt in there and comment. If they allow you to, you got to be careful in these groups, though.
Some of them don't.
You go into other people's groups, but there's nothing stopping you from posting and creating your own group. So even if there's one in there like it, yours will be better. So we'll give you more tips and advice on how to do that. I just love talking about food and showing food. And if you just go in there and start posting videos, because those will encourage others to join your group. It's weird how the algorithms work. The algorithms will pick up on the fact that everyone's interested in this. And if you post it public, that's why you want to have business pages to start, because you're not going to want to post everything public from your personal account. If you have a business page and then you can put a lot of video on there, it will start to go viral if you're doing reels and things like that. I want to say viral as it can get.
Don't tell anybody that, because you never know. But
I am going to tell them that, because it's possible that it could, it's everyone out there could see it. There's if you hide it in your account, your personal account, no one's going to see it. Only the people that are your friends. Right. So there's a difference there. And so we'll go into more of that as we go along. For those of you who don't know anything about business profile or business accounts, you want to get that set up. But you can also set up your group and get people in there. And once they're in there, it's easier to promote, because you can post links in your own group. You just don't want to, you have to be careful in some of these other groups what you post, because they may kick you out because you're not supposed to be promoting, right? So
right.
Your own stuff. I promote in my own groups. I don't promote in others. But here's how I do. If somebody says something, you can comment, but you still got to be careful. Don't put a link in there to say, I've got this great charcuterie company that I love, or this is a great place to look into, and then say, feel free to PM me. I can tell you what it is, and then you start hearing from people that way. But I can, we'll go on to more about how all that works. But that's getting people into your world. So getting that repeat business is all of your clients should be in your group, right? They don't need to be friends of yours on Facebook, okay? You don't want every Tom, Dick, and Harry a friend, but if they get into your Facebook group, that's going to be more business related. That is, providing tips around the area if you want to do it, or it could be strictly about charcuterie in your world, because these groups seem very, very popular. They're huge, but do one local. You can do it local and get more people into it, because people locally like it, and you're creating art. So people like to see that. All right, cool. So anything else to wrap up this episode? No, that's it. All right, cool. Well, we're having fun now. We're really rolling. Our goal is to have a new podcast out now that we're at the first of the year, every week, and we promise to do our best to stay on that schedule with you. And if we get really good, we might do 2 a week. We'll see how it goes. But
we're gonna that's the ultimate goal, is to try to get 2 a week. But
yeah. And it might be that, maybe I'm able to get on and you can't, and the other way around. So you might hear from
we
one
might
of
do
us.
some individual things. We'll see how it goes. But anyways, we're here for everybody. We hope you guys are getting something out of this, and please let us know. More importantly, if there's anything you want to hear about, we are always looking for ideas.
Yeah.
We've got a ton of them on our own, but we want everybody else's too.
Well, we want to provide what you are wanting, asking for.
Right.
So if we can, we will. And if not, we'll find some guests. I have some ideas for guests. So we'll bring in some of our own clients, also people that we know that are already, doing successful online businesses and things like that. And just ads, social. I've got lots of people in my pocket that could come in here and tell you all kinds of helpful stuff to get your business more exposure, which I think is important. All right, cool. Andrea, sister, how are you? I will see you. Maybe I'll see you tomorrow. I don't know. I'm going to be up in northern Arizona. I actually, for those who don't know, I'm a singer. My husband and I are going to be up there doing some music up in her neck of the woods this weekend.
Singing at the winery.
Hey, singing at the winery. Hopefully I'll get some cheese and crackers from there. All right, everyone. Thanks for sticking with us. We'll see you on our next episode. Bye-bye.
Okay, bye.
Bye.